to turn that off. And we need to turn... Nope, not that one. Not those options, not those options, these options. That explains why everything was so quiet. Okay. So, we got Gentleman versus Tiki. Is this the best of 7? I think it is. This is from the championship. Now, let's just make a quick scoreboard. We'll move these up to the top. Hang on. It's not my fault, I wasn't remotely prepared. Man, they're just getting right into it. Okay, let's see how that works. I mean, it's a bit ugly, but it does work. I don't know where to put this subscriber stuff. Actually, they can go above the mini-map. That's probably not too bad. And that means I can space Tiki out a bit better. That'll be better. So we got Squirrel, Toad, Pigeon, Falcon Cam, Boar against Lizard, Boar, Badger, Owl, Wolf, Machine Gun. What the heck? This is a very not Tiki deck from Tiki Grey. Now, it's actually quite similar to the deck I ran against Gentleman. I went Squirrel, all 4 of those tier 3s, and Barbed Wire. I wonder if Tiki Grey has seen what I've seen, or if he's just memeing. Squirrel, Toad, Falcon, Cambor is just really solid. It's just hard to get rid of. I think the 4 tier 3s will definitely do it though. Now, I know why Tiki Grey has... Okay, so the reason I went for 4 tier 3s was because I knew that Gent likes to go... I mean, Gent sometimes likes to go long. He's a pretty unpredictable player, but he usually will get up to at least 16 farms. That means you've probably got time to do your own thing. Get at least one tier 3 out, and if you can get one tier 3 out, it can help you defend while you get the other tier 3s out. It crushes Owl. I mean, let's be real, 4 tier 3s is going to crush anything. The real problem for Tiki is that Gent has Squirrel Toad, and he has Pure Lizard. That's why I took Squirrels when I was playing this deck, so I wouldn't get destroyed by Toads. But, although it's a greater risk, there is a greater payoff if you take Lizards. They can deal with just the regular Squirrels better. And Tiki is ahead on Eco by 2 farms now. If he can get these forward machine guns set up, he might be in a good place to start getting a hold and pumping out tier 3s. I need to move Tiki's name over a bit to the left, I think. Man, Tiki's getting huge amounts of work done with just these lizards. For some reason, Gentleman decided to sell his toads. Ah, perhaps this is why he decided to sell his toads. But still, surely you'd keep the toads and sell some squirrels. Very confused why I do that. Now, another advantage this deck for Tiki is that it's going to catch Gentleman completely unawares. Like, Gentleman... Tiki usually only plays like 1 deck, maybe 2. He doesn't mix it up to this extent. Plus, he definitely doesn't do multiple tier 3s. And no one does 4 tier 3s. So, this has a good chance of catching Gent completely by surprise. And that's a big deal in 2K. And while, yeah, Tiki probably won't be able to predict Gentleman's deck, he kind of doesn't need to. With 4 tier 3s, if you just get them out, you'll win. Except perhaps maybe against 5 tier 3s. Anyway, at the moment, it's just Lizard versus... It's just Lizard and Badger. Gent already has the boar up, which Tiki did scout, and Gent scouted the Badger. Tiki gonna bring his lizards in. Is he gonna go for the base race? He isn't? He's going for the Warrens. I mean, this is a fair amount of damage. But it's not worth 20 lizards. And there's no way this Badger can single-handedly take all of these squirrels. What is Tiki up to? Maybe Tiki's high again. Okay, so not completely unpredictably, Gentleman takes that game. I mean, the player matchup is pretty even. But that was a very unusual deck by Tiki. Powerful, but very inconsistent. Not his usual type of thing. He usually goes for consistency. This is the type of thing Tiki normally runs. Quadruple tier 2. Arguably the most consistent deck in the game. So we got Squirrel, Toad, Pigeon, Skunk, Snake, Fox against Squirrel, Lizard, Falcon, Skunk, Cam, Snake. You know, I honestly couldn't predict who's going to win this. My brain says Tiki, like, he's the player who I'm more scared to come up against in rank, but... I mean, Gentleman is the gentleman. He's been at the top of the leaderboards, top of the rankings, for about as long as the game has been out. He's really good at finding a way to just get through. Map-wise, at the moment, looks like 3 easy mills to each player. This one goes to Gent though, so I'd say it's a Gent favoured map. Gent has a late game, I don't know. Now, 4 tier 2s does struggle somewhat against Fox, because Fox can easily just, you know, kill tier 2s, but the problem the Fox has is that it takes time. Fox has quite a slow fire rate, and almost all of these tier 2s take multiple shots to kill. Plus you've got all the tier 1 in the way, so if the quad tier 2 deck can just push forward hard enough and fast enough, the Fox isn't going to have time to actually clear it up. Plus, with Lizards, Tiki has some way of actually putting pressure on the Fox. He has a cam to trap them. If the snakes get just a couple of tags, the Fox is probably going to die. Fox is always dangerous, but there's a lot of stuff in Tiki's deck that could catch it out if Gent isn't very, very careful with it. Tiki gonna run in past this campfire? Yeah, he's just gonna tank the hits. Okay, so that's 2 farms for only 2 lizards. Surprising. Well, definitely worth it. I would have thought Tiki would lose more. Gent maybe needs to be holding further forward so we can cut off this run around. Looks like he just wants to come in, and he does have the army value to do it. But Tiki Gray's army is going to jump up significantly once these tier 2s get out. Look at these lizards coming all the way around. Tiki trying to get a pincer maneuver, but I think he just split up his army way too much there. And I think Gent from here can just snowball. By the way, does the game sound need to be reduced or raised? I did a bit of a mess with the volume settings. It feels a bit loud for me. Alright, these lizards actually coming in clutch. Now that all of the codes are gone, these lizards are putting in a lot of work. Tiki has the snakes, and Tiki actually survives. He only loses this mill, but that had nothing on it. Plus, he's been multiple farms ahead. That was actually a really good engagement for Tiki. Like, Gent destroyed Tiki's army, but Tiki managed to hold on anyway. Like, when all of these lizards came round, I thought Tiki was done for, because they just got obliterated, but Tiki didn't suffer any real damage. And he had all this tier 2 coming up in the back. Alright, well, Eco's fairly even for now. Gent has put down his Fox. He's working on a 3rd mill. Means he really needs to watch this path. Getting out more toads. Tiki Gray's got one of every tier 2 now. And here comes the fox. So the toads will just... Tiki does get the scout on that fox. Gent is hoping to run in the toads, clear out all the tier 1, and then the fox just has an easy time shooting all of the tier 2 down. And then hopefully can stop Tiki from ever rebuilding his army. You know, just keep the momentum. Alright, Fox is up, but Tiki still ahead an army. Oh, and I just noticed, I think Tiki just noticed as well, he can actually bring his lizards down here. And now, suddenly there's a base race on. Now, does Gent go home? He is. He's got this mill. It's mill for mill at the moment. Plus Gent lost all his tier 1. I think Tiki's come off better. But Gent does have a mill over here to expand to. Alright, here's the fight. Not all of the lizards survive. They get around all of the skunk gas. And all the toads. Man, Gent was just massively behind an army there. I'm not sure how he fell that far behind. Probably because all his toads blew up, whereas most of Tiki's lizards got out. So that base trade really favoured Tiki. But here we go. Even game. How's it going? It's at 1-1. You guys not playing Among Us, or did you just die? Okay, Squirrel, Lizard, Falcon, Skunk, Owl, Mine. Against Squirrel, Toad, Falcon, Skunk, Snake, Owl. So we got our owl game. Okay, Squirrel Lizard versus Squirrel Toad. It's a bit Squirrel Toad favoured, I think, but not hugely. I mean, we saw last game that the Squirrel Lizard player won. Falcon Skunk for both players. So it's just a snake for the mine. So more defensive for Gent. The snake probably won't matter in this matchup too much. The Falcons can take care of it, the lizards can take care of it, the owl takes care of it. I think Gent probably has a stronger deck. I don't know why he'd take mine as his defensive structure. It doesn't really synergize as far as I can see, but you're not in Among Us anymore. Did that stop? Did you actually stop playing without me? No, it looks like they've still got 7 people there. Alright. Gentleman bringing his lizards around through the water, getting actually some decent value. We already picked off the farm here. He has lizards coming in from the other side though, and his reinforcements get screwed. So I think actually that probably worked out pretty evenly. Like, Gentleman lost so many extra lizards. It looks like maybe he's ahead. Don't know, Tiki's spending so much on armies right now. Whereas Gent is ecoing up pretty hard, but has currently only got lizards to defend this squirrel toad push. He's seen the toads, he's getting up some squirrels. But he needs time and he doesn't have much. But Gent is a really good lizards player. He knows how to be a nuisance. He's coming in again. We could be looking at a base race scenario here, which I think Gent would win? Question mark. Depends how they play it, because the toads can blow up the mill very quickly. Okay, he's holding on to the toads. Gent is coming back. Gent loses his mill. I think Gent might have needed to go for the base race, but trying to do that with just 9 lizards is pretty difficult against 8. Okay, he's going for it now, but now a squirrel spawned here. Like, the big brain play for Tiki. Blow up his toads here, they respawn here, run into the lizards. But now all the lizards are dead and Tiki has destroyed all the warrens back home. Gent is out of army completely. He's desperately trying to get up some squirrels, but the damage is done. Like, the units respawning here really cost Gent. Plus him taking some damage as he ran over here to deal with that before he ran back. If he just attacked here, I don't know if he could have done it, because the pigs can go through 9 lizards pretty quickly, so he would have had to kill a number of pigs, basically all of them, and then start killing the mill. And he would have to do that while Tiki had that 6 toad burst in his back pocket. I mean, Gentleman does have an even army right now, but I mean, Tiki's got 8 farms, so he can actually build an army. If we'd hit the 5-minute mark already, then I think maybe Gent could theoretically have brought that back. It would have still been tough, but it wouldn't have been as impossible. Alright. 2 points for Tiki. Nine lizards against 8 pigs. I'm honestly not sure how that works out. Oh, my nose, my poor nose. Alright, here we go. Squirrel, lizard, falcon, skunk, owl, mine against squirrel, pigeon, falcon, skunk, snake, boar. So Tiki doing a deck very similar to the boar deck we saw dominate the finals. Gentleman with the exquisite owl and the funk is very meta as well. The only off-meta choice for Gentleman right now is the mines. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Gent, for that base race, he would have had to kill all the pigs first and then go for the mill, and with only 9 lizards, And let's be honest, it would have been like 6 by the time he'd finished killing the pigs, maybe 7. I don't know if he would have made it. Plus, it would have taken so long. Tiki probably would have been able to build another mill or bring his toads back. So I don't think Gent really made the wrong call by not going for it. It's just... it definitely didn't... The call he did make definitely didn't work. He even needed to engage... He didn't actually engage because there were toads there, but... Maybe he could have worked around. Anyway, Tiki trying to do some... snake rushing. But Gent has just slammed down 2 lizards. He's managed to pick off a farm. This is a good start for Gent. As long as this snake doesn't get ridiculous value. And the mines basically stop that, because the snake has to stand still. I mean, Gentleman gets so much time from these mines, even though Tiki knows that they're here. Because Tiki has to stand there for 2 seconds, then the snake has to shoot it. That gives Gent like 3 or 4 seconds to respond to each mine. In the meantime, he's just building more and more lizards. He's not seen any toads. Tiki doesn't have toads, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Pigeons, squirrels, and snakes all get swarmed by mass lizards. So, yeah, there's no reason for Gentleman to move out of this. He is putting down some squirrel warrens. Surprised Tiki's kept the snakes. Might be worth selling them. Okay. Gent doesn't have... Oh, actually, I think Gent might be able to get in here. You look on the mini-map. That hedge, like, he can get past there, and that would let him in. But he's hidden his lizards around the back. He's brought them in. He's got a good surround. He's picked off so many units. I imagine Tiki just dies from here. I mean, look at how that army graph plummeted. Now, the lizards do run ahead of the squirrels, but... he's... Really? He's just going to settle for a warren? Why? Okay, he goes back and puts down an owl, but he could have just won. I mean, he could still push in. Look at the difference in army value here. The score is literally on the screen. I mean, there's no point in me making a scoreboard if you're just going to ask me what the score is anyway. Okay, so Gentleman has weirdly let Tiki rebuild. The owl will probably win it, but I mean, it sets Gent back a bit. It gives Tiki a lot of breathing room that honestly he didn't need to give him. It's quite an unusual play for Gent, and Tiki now might have a chance. If he gets some good micro in this engagement, the army is even. If this engagement goes well, then... Oh, especially with Gent's army all the way over here, Tiki might be able to cause some real damage here. Gent is going to pick off the 2 farms. Is he going to pick off the entire mill? He is. But that's going to be a mill for a mill. And now Gent definitely can jump on here. And Gent's taking the base race this time. There's only 4 pigs, so Gent is going to win that. The owl will take care of a lot of this army by itself if he just micros it once it has some mice. He's picking off a lot of warrens, which is important in this stage of the game where Tiki needs money to put down farms to prevent starvation. It really matters that he doesn't have anything to sell. Honestly, Gent could have just jumped in. He didn't need to run away. But, I mean, Tiki surrenders. He was definitely beaten. Gent had him on one farm with an L coming out. No warrants to sell. Or some good lizards. Good lizarding. And is Gent going to stay with the same deck? It's unusual for Gent to just keep playing the same deck over and over again. Ah, this looks different. Few slight changes. A couple of minor tweaks. But is he going to bottle it? He's bottling. He's changing his mind. Oh no, he's changing it back. He's found his courage. His puny French courage. Alright, here we go. Squirrel, skunk, owl, wolf, fox, wire against squirrel, lizard, skunk, snake, boar, fox. So, triple tier 3 coming from Gent. This is, I believe, Lucas's Area 51 style of triple tier 3. Need a France versus England tournament. Do we? Like, I mean, that's basically me against Gentleman and Melvin. I mean, I love my country and all, but I think we might be outgunned a bit when it comes to tooth and tail. I could take Wild. And I could go up against Gent or Melvin, but taking both of them at the same time is a bit tricky. Leon, yeah, our secret. I mean, I didn't forget Leon. I didn't mention Leon. I know that sounds mean, because it is. I don't think there are other players from England. Like, if we open it up to the Commonwealth, maybe we can find some Canadians. And we got the kid from New Zealand. But yeah, I think most of the... I think everyone... I think me and Leon are the only two who represent the British Isles. And I think we're both from England. You are the second best British player. Unfortunately, that also means you are the worst British player. Anyway, I should talk about this because we've got double tier 3 coming out from Tiki. We've got multiple tier 3s on both sides of the field. Gent is gonna... He's got his wolf down. He's selling up for an owl. So the wolf will buff the owl as it's building. So they should both come out at the same time. Anyway, so tier 3 versus tier 3. The player with more tier 3 usually wins. There's some rock, paper, scissors, some matchup stuff, but usually it just comes down to raw numbers. And with the wolf, I mean, I think Gent probably wins if this goes to a multi-tier 3 game. The boar can't kill the mice very quickly. It can kill them consistently, but not quickly. So the mice are still going to get onto Tiki's fox and do a bit of scratch damage, cause Tiki to maybe panic a bit. And it only takes one shot. It only takes one point of damage plus a fox shot to kill another fox. So Gent's Fox is going to have an easier time. Plus, the Fox can cut through the boar pretty quickly. And the Fox is going to be shooting very quickly with the wolf buff. Now, at the moment, Tiki's chosen a good moment to come in. Gentleman only has the owl, and the Fox can take this. If he just goes for the mill, oh, but he can't. The Fox comes out right in time, and all of Tiki's army just obliterates. That Fox comes out. Look at how low that base was. Oh my god, that was so close. Did you see how little health was on that base? I was trying to get out of the sentence. If Tiki just goes for the base, then he could win. Because there was no expansion. But the game, like, too much stuff happened at once. Like, that was some really intense tooth and tail in that little just 5-second segment. The boar comes in, the owl gets roasted, the mill starts going down, but then the fox comes up and bang, 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 everything explodes. But the boar bomb nearly kills the mill anyway. Oh, it was, like, you'd have to go back and watch that, like, 5 times over to get every little detail out of that. Yep, this is a match point for Gent. And he's bringing out the badger. Squirrel, badger, skunk, snake, badger, wire. It's me. It's my deck. Or one of my decks. I play too many decks. I don't play any deck consistently enough for there to be a pimp deck. Yeah, I was disappointed that the finals weren't best of 9, I'll be honest. And, oh my god, it's Badger versus Owl. Lizard Falcon, it's Skunk, Snake, Owl, Machine Gun for Tiki. Genta's really counterpicked well here. He even got a decent map. It's relatively easy for him to expand. It's easier for him to expand to multiple bases than it is for Tiki, because Tiki can maybe get to this one, set up a couple machine guns, but, I mean, Gent can just expand outwards here. It's pretty difficult for Tiki to get to any of these. This is... looks like RNG's is favouring Gent tonight. Is there a rivalry between Gentleman and Tiki? Like, more than any other players who happen to run into each other a lot? We actually need a bit more drama in the Tooth and Tail community. I think it's the first time I've ever said that, but... everyone's too nice. We need someone to, like, actually cause some problems. So we can get some decent storylines going. At the moment, the story of Tooth and Tail is a bunch of people, like... playing sports and just having a nice time and being nice to each other. Yeah, but you're not good enough, Goris, for there to actually be... I was talking about top level drama. Alright, Tiki coming in with the Skunk Snake. He's timed this really well against pure Squirrel from Gent. Is tier 2 coming up is just slightly too late. The Snake getting huge work done for Tiki. Multiple ones going down. Gentleman now has his own Snake. Is this mill going to get saved? The Snakes for Tiki were hitting the mill rather than the Snake. Oh, Gent rallies his pigeons for a bit too long. And the Snake goes down. That's a real problem. But Tiki lost both of his Snakes as well. So definitely a favourable trade to Tiki. But Gent has a chance to come back into this. He kept his tier 2. Alright, snake coming in again. I don't know how many snake tags it would take at this point, because the number of snake tags changes based on whether there's one snake or two, and it's going to change based on how much health the mill has. I imagine 5 might do it. You'd probably want 8. Anyway, Gent keeping up. The wire is stopping Tiki from pushing in. And this is actually bad for Gent. Like, if he can get up to the Badger, he's in a really good spot, but it's hard to do that when you're behind. And the lizards are just going to be devastating for Tiki. Plus there are falcons as well. Like, Gent's army doesn't really do well with this mass DPS. And look at the skunk gas there. All of Gent's army was clumped together inside the gas. Huge amounts of damage done. Is Gent going to surrender? I hope not. Oh, that snake getting away with 1 HP. That won't kill the mill, will it? Oh, I was close. Very close. 1 extra tag, 1 extra hit would have done it. Now Tiki is just in a devastatingly good position. That mill gets even closer to dying. There's no health there. What health has the mill got? And here comes the snake to finish it off. Doesn't quite reach it. I mean, Gent is so far behind here. I'm genuinely surprised he's stayed in this game. I mean, these lizards for Tiki are just doing so much work. Like, Squirrel Skunk can't handle them. Gent tries to kite into the wire. It's actually relatively successful, but he just doesn't have the numbers or the army to help out. Like, wire by itself is not an army. And the game goes to 3-3. We're at game 7. Match point. Holy shit. Plus we get... Did we just get the follower button? We did. We got 2 followers. No, 1 follower. Tanner, thanks for the follow. We also had Missa Facaldi, who followed me yesterday while I was off stream. Which always feels weird. Is this a show match? It is. So, there's this thing called the Tooth and Tail League that has been running the last few months. This is 3rd place. So these are 2 really high ranked players. Best in the biz. Honestly, I would have expected both of them to be in the final. It was a bit of an upset when both of them got knocked into this bracket, but still. This is a tight contest between 2 of the best in the biz. Anyway, welcome to the Warrens. Hope you enjoy your stay. Tanner PR. I'm sure I've seen your name before somewhere. Yeah, child, did you not know this was 3rd place? 1st place was between Meek and Melvin. And I gotta be honest, the games weren't as intense as this. I feel like this is a more interesting matchup. But I was also very distracted when the Meek Melvin games were happening. I was watching Scotland play Ireland in the Six Nations. I'm not spoiling. I mean, you can go check. You can go find out pretty easily. And Kippo's spoiling it anyway. But I'm not spoiling. And that's what counts. Okay, so 7 farm double from both players. Gentleman looking for a place to come in. We've seen already that Gent is a very good lizard player. And he's going with his same deck. Squirrel, Lizard, Falcon, Skunks, Owl, Mine. This seems to be his, like, super serious deck. Since he's run it when he's in trouble. Tiki with Squirrel, Lizard, Falcon, Skunk, Snake, Owl. So, not a... Wait, yeah, it's a very similar deck as well. And we've already seen this deck matchup from both players. Snake for Mine. Alright, Gent picks a good moment to come in. Gets a couple of farms. But Tiki's lizards stall the retreat a bit. Tiki's able to pick off some units, but definitely think that went Gentleman's way. There is chat on the VOD. There's definitely chat on the VOD. You can go back and see what people were saying. Anyway, that's pretty huge value for Gent, even with his dead lizards. And look at this army graph. Gent just massing lizards, and I mean, Tiki's not here to defend this. It's able to come in and pick off 2 Warrens. Is Tiki trying to go for a base race? No, he pulls his units back. Okay, Tiki trying to get up to 4 skunks. If he can make it, that gives him a huge advantage, since Gent is purely relying on tier 1. But, I mean, honestly, it's kind of a big if at this stage. Here comes number 2 and 3. 4 is already paid for. Okay. A Gentleman going for the Owl. Now, it's going to be difficult for Tiki to scout this, because every time he leaves his base, Gentleman comes in with 20 lizards. Gent definitely has enough to force a base race, so Tiki has to be careful. Plus, Tiki, even if he saw the Owl, he can't push to punish it because there's so many mines on the field. Oh, maybe he can. Just pure broad-headedness. He runs in and just takes all the mine hits. There's 1 lizard left for Gentleman. The mines finally kill a skunk. Gentleman sells the Owl just as it starts to build. He's all in on the lizards. I'm not sure if that's the call I would have made, but I'm not at Gent's level. Okay, Gent manages to get a decent split, but the skunks are just so efficient at this stage. But Tiki is down to 2, though he has more on his way. Gentleman is steadily getting supply blocked. He is ahead on economy, ever so slightly. I'm not sure I would have sold the Owl. The Owl does so much better against the skunks than pure lizard does. Look at this damage, it's so spread out. You've got so many, you've got most of the skunks going to half health rather than just one or two of them dying. Gentleman coming round the side. Has this path always been here? Has he just never used it? But Tiki sees this lizard, he knows that something's up. The lizard gave it away. Gentleman only managed to get one farm off that. Tiki having his own lizards makes it much harder for Gentleman to just poke and retreat. Alright, here we go. There's only a couple of... No, there are 3 skunks on the front line. But they get the job done. But Gentleman, with just pure tier 1, he can resupply pretty quickly. But Tiki with this forward base has made this base pretty safe, as well as blocking off base race. So this is looking decent for Tiki. But Gent gets finally a good surround, picks off all of the skunks. This might be it. Lizards tend to snowball. Only one farm gets picked off. Tiki has his own supply of tier 1 to come in. But the skunks are completely supply blocked. Tiki isn't selling anything. It's a rookie mistake. You've either got to sell the skunks because you can't build them, or you've got to sell some tier 1 in order to build the skunks. Tiki surrenders. Match point in the Premier League for 3rd place, and he just gives it up. Not what I would have done, but hey, he gave it a good go. That was a pretty close game in a pretty close series. Now let's see if Gent wants an interview. Might have to turn the music down a bit. Oh, Gent left. Technical problems. Give me a room. What does that mean? Oh wait, no, just call him again. Hello.
Yeah.
Bonjour.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Can you try speaking a bit?
Bonjour.
Hey, hello. Yeah, it works.
Shit, I can't remember how are you in French, but how are you?
I'm very fine, thank you.
It's a close run series.
Oh yeah, certainly. You had me on the ropes on the last game too.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
pretty close.
I honestly thought that last game was going to go Tiki's way when you were forced to sell the owl.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was the right call or not. Yeah, I think you're better off committing to the lizard all-in at this point, even if they outtake you with skunks. But it was pretty close. It was smart to keep his skunks alive around that proximal. And yeah, at the end I got some mine hits, and just because I was able to kill the skunks eventually, I have huge momentum because he has slower reprod. So pretty close, because if you had kept the skunks, you would have kept trading better.
Well,
and eventually,
he did keep the skunks.
Yeah.
That was a problem. He kept the skunks and was completely supply blocked. We were wondering it wasn't just me. What I think the owl choice, the choice to sell the owl, is definitely the most interesting choice in that game because you were mass lizard, and you'd already seen that he had 4 skunks, and 4 skunks trade so well even against lizards. So what was the logic there?
The logic is that I have to win fast, to kill the skunk very fast, because if I let the game going, he's only going to keep trading well. Like I'm on the verge of death. If I have only a little bit less lizards, even if it's not the most optimal comp, he can really trade even better. And I can kill the skunks, and once the all comes out, it might be already too late, because skunks are decent against mice, and if he has already done a lot of damage, one all is not going to turn the game by itself, because it needs time to build up the mice anyway. So yeah, I think it was the right call, but it was still
well, it worked.
I might have lost. Yeah, but barely. But I don't think I had any paths to victory other than that. Maybe I should have tried skunk and snake, but if I try to take switch, then he push and I'll probably die.
Yeah, that's probably what. I mean, it was. I mean, I can't even remember the other games. I remember in first game that there was. Yeah. I mean, the thing that I remember most about the game 1 is that Tiki tried to take 4 tier 3s of pure.
Oh,
lizards.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He had lizards, MG, and
4 tier 3s.
Okay.
But he just ran into trouble when he came lizard only against squirrels, toad.
Oh yeah. Yeah. On that game, I'm pretty glad I didn't sell the boar for a surprise all-in, because the boar on his own was going to be very good against what Tiki had.
Then what else do we have? We had. I mean, I think the penultimate game was the one where Tiki won. No, you won. Who won?
Yeah.
Someone. Which one was it where it was Boar Fox against your triple tier 3?
Maybe game 5.
It was game 5, I think. Game 5, yeah. And he really. I mean, it came really close because you just had that 1 mil, and that 1 mil got to maybe a fifth of its health.
Oh, really?
Exploded. Yeah, the ball was.
Yeah. He tried to kill the mill with the ball. Okay. Yeah. So that's why I didn't understand what was his plan, but yeah, I suppose if I have only 1 mil, he could have won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the fox came up and just killed the boar, killed the fox, and that was GG. But that was a really close one as well. I do wonder how the first game would have gone if he'd. I don't know if that was a serious deck from him or if he was memeing. It doesn't feel like Tiki's not the type to meme.
Yeah, but 4 tier 3 sounds a bit too much.
Yeah.
So it might have been a meme on game 1. I don't know.
And then the most. I mean, usually it was basically the deck you were running in that last game: Squirrel, Lizard, Skunk, Snake, Owlmine against Squirrel, Pigeon, Skunk. No, wait, it was Squirrel, Lizard,
and then
Falcon, Skunk, Snake, Owl was what Tiki was running most of the time. So you were running pretty similar decks. It's basically the snake. Yeah, it was basically Pigeon for Lizard and Snake for mine.
Okay. Yeah, I did expect him to go Squizard and 4 tier 2, but I didn't know he had the Owl. And he brought some new decks that I didn't know in the series. Yeah. And also he had that weird opening that threw me off a bit, that he goes for an expand at the 7th farm. And I know the theory behind it, but it's so dangerous to do when your opponent is running lizards. And I was a bit salty that I didn't have lizards on my first 2 games, and then on game 3 I had a very good expansion to defend for this kind of punish attempt that I tried to do with the lizards. And then afterward he stopped doing that, so I couldn't really try to exploit the weird opening anymore.
Sorry, well, I sort of zoned out. So does anyone have a question that they want to ask Gent? Or more accurately, do they have a question that I can ask Gent? Because my brain is fried right now. We got Tiki in the chat talking to Mochaccino about the last game. The minds in that last game put in a lot of work.
Yeah. I think I was kind of lucky because I don't think he saw most of the mine I put down on the field. So yeah, it was all about momentum. If I didn't manage to get some skunk skill in the last fight, I would have died for sure. And yeah, maybe it can be a bit random sometimes because depending on the angle and the surround of the lizards, sometimes they get more gas damage or sometimes they don't. So yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a bit of interesting and mysterious situation that happened on last game.
There was one game where it was his Lizard Toad game when you just had lizards, where you looked like you were going to go for the base race but then didn't, but then went back. We were talking about that one in chat. It felt like you hesitated quite a bit in that.
Was it game 3, you mean?
I think it was game 2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah, game 3. Yeah, might have been a mistake on my hand, but I had only 9 lizards, and if I want to kill the meal, I need to take out all the pigs first, and then I only have like 3 or 4 lizards, and with the reinforcement from his warren, it's not even sure that I can kill the meal at all.
Yeah, that's
what I had.
But I mean, you did ultimately decide to go for the base race. It's just you went back first and.
Wait, was it game 3?
I don't remember which number. Anyway, I do need to ask a question. I've got a question from Kippo. He wants to know what you thought about the format and specifically the finals. How you think that they changed the meta as a whole, if they did.
The meta, or is it a question about the meta or the format of the tournament?
A bit of both. I mean, do you like the format of the tournament first? And he also wants to know about the what you think, how it changed the meta. But I don't really know if that's relevant in a tournament setting. But maybe you've got a different view.
If it's a longer series and you have time to prepare your next opponent, then you will have to bring several decks, I think, especially when the meta is not stable, like there isn't one true dominant deck, like it might have been the case half a year ago. But yeah, about the tournament format in general, I enjoyed it a lot, but I think it might have been better if it was a little bit faster paced with the scheduling, because I kind of lost interest in the last weeks.
Yeah.
Because it dragged down a little bit after round of 8.
Yeah, I think at the very least the third and final game should have been done as a pair, back to back. I don't know. I mean, with scheduling, there's certain limits because people are available when they're available.
Yeah.
I think you could probably schedule almost any of our tournaments better, but you gotta make do with what you got.
I think it's technically possible to run a tournament like this in like 4 or 5 weeks, but it requires a lot of micromanaging from the organizer, because most people won't be so active in the scheduling by themselves.
Yeah, and you would know.
So yeah, and it's such a core, and I did not want to do it, so I didn't do that, and it was up to the actual organizer, because I was only there for format consulting and prediction contest, stuff like that, but I didn't actually do actual tournament organizing, and I know from organizing past tournament that it's a big core to just test every participant to check if they have matching schedules and stuff. Yeah.
All right. Well, I can't think of much else to say.